Hello students, we are discussing here the chapter number 8 of the class 6. The name of this chapter is body movement. So in today's class we will be discuss about the joints of the body. In the previous class we already discussed the different type of our skeleton systems. So in today's class we will be discuss the joints of our body. As we know that we can move our body parts and we can easily move from one place to another place. The reason is because our joints are allowed to movement in our body. We can move, as we will be see. Yes, we can easily move our hand, we can easily move our legs. So the reason is because our joints are allowed to the movement. And what are the joints? Yes, where the two different bones will be meet together. In our skeletons, where the two different bones will be meet, that will be known as the joints. So joint help us in the body movements. As we know that we can move our head, we can move our arms, hand, legs, feet, all those body parts we can easily move. So I think you got the meaning of it, and you have to remember that in our freely movable joints there are a strong connective tissue that are present, and that is known the ligaments. Ligament is a tissue which hold the two different bones. Suppose this is a first bones and this is the another bone. So their bone will be interconnected by a strong tissue, and this strong tissue is known as the ligament. We will be discussing here. Now firstly we classify the different type of the joints. So firstly we will classify them into the four groups. One is the hinge joint, second is the ball and socket joint, third is the pivot joint, fourth is the fixed joints. So firstly we start from the hinge joints. So I think you know that the meaning of the hinge. Hinge is generally used in a door. When we just use a doors, or we can say that hinge means the kabji. Kabji means when we move our doors, and it is generally fixed by a metal rod, okay, which allow the movement in our door only in a one direction. So we can say our door will be only move forward or the backward. So movement in the door will be on a one direction that is provided by the hinge, okay, that are interconnected by the door and the side walls. So we can say door has a hinge. So in the same way in our body, the some bones or some joints are known as a hinge joints, because the body movement or parts of the body can move only in a single direction, only in the one direction. It can be moved in the forward or it can be moved in the backward. If I take the example of the elbow, in our elbow we know that our hands can be moved in the forward directions and it can move in the backward directions. Okay, backward means it can be only straighten. Okay, so if you will be see in these pictures, yes, our hand is the straightens and it can be moved in the only forward directions, upward directions, and it can only the just straightens. So the movement is in a one direction, that will be known the hinge joints. Now we can be move on the, and you have to remember hinge joint is present in our elbow, our knees. You will be see that is the hinge joints. One bones is interconnect with the second bones, and this is generally attached by the ligaments. Ligaments is a muscles which hold the two bones. Okay, so these joints will be present in our knee, in our elbow, and in other different part. I mean the finger joint is also known as the hinge joints. The second is ball and the socket joints. Ball and socket joints, here you will be see the two bones. One bones has a ball at the terminal end of this bones, and the second has a socket. So when they will be fixed together, in this case ball is fixed with the socket, and this movement or this joint allow the movement in the circular path, or circular movement will be possible here. So you will be see ball and socket joints, one end has a ball shape structures and second bones has a socket structures, and they will be held together and they will be helped to move in a circular motions. We know that our hand can be moved in the back directions as well as in the front direction. So our shoulders allow the movement in a circular paths. So I think you got the meaning of it, and as well it is present in our legs. So our thigh is generally attached with the ball and the socket joints. Now we are moving on the third. The name of it the pivot joints. Pivot joints. Pivot joints is present between our neck and the skulls. We know that our neck is consisted by the our backbone because our backbone is directly attached or go through with the neck and it will directly attach with the skulls. So our skulls and the necks, they are attached with a pivot joints. And what kind of the movement is generally occurs? We know our head can be moved to the left side and it can be moved to the right side, and our head can be also moved the upside and the downside. So we can say left side movement, right side movement, upside and downside, all kind of the directions we can easily move. So this is generally known as a pivot joints, and pivot joint is present between the skulls and the necks, and it is also present in our lower arm. In our forearm or lower arms, we know that this is generally made by the two bones. One is known the radius and second is known the ulna. So in the lower bones, as we know that in the lower arms there is a rotation is allowed in the lower arm, so we can easily rotate it. Okay, so this is also known as the pivot joints. So I think you got the meaning of it. Now we will be discuss the fixed joints. Fixed joints, those joints which do not allow the movement in the body parts or bones. So there you will be see in our skulls there are large number of the bones is fixed together, they are joined together, but the movement is not allowed because they are generally known as a fixed joints. Fixed means the bones will be tightly strong together, they will be held so tightly, so the movement will not be allowed. So we can say fixed joint means immovable joints where the movement will not be allowed. So this joint is generally present in our brains and other part of, or we can say like the hips. Hips is also made by the our fixed joints. So I think you got the meaning of it. Now we will be discuss the muscles, contractions, move bones at the joints. Muscles, we know that are present in our body, and it is a fibrous tissue and it is present over the bones. If I give you the example, suppose this is the bones of our upper arm and this is the bones of our lower arm, and over these bones on the upside as well as the lower side there are some kind of the muscle will be present. Muscle is a fibrous tissue which help in the movement of our bones. Okay, so in this over these bones there is also some muscles will be present. It is a tissue, so it will be help in the movement of the bones. Okay, so how they will be helped? By the contractions and by the relaxations. What are the meaning of them? We will be discuss here. Okay, so by the during the motions some muscles get contractions as well some muscles get the relaxations. So we can be understand it very well by the taking of example bending and the straightening of the arm. So we are taking about the arms. Suppose if we will be take the arm, suppose this is the straightened arms. Okay, so we know that in our upper arm, or we can say over the bones, you will be see in the upside there are a muscle is present and it is known the biceps muscle, and lower these bones there is also some muscle is present and that is known the triceps muscles. So when we bend our hand, you will be see हमने hand को bend किया. So when we bend our hands, our upper muscles exert a force to move it in this forward directions. So when this upper muscles force will exert a force, then it will be contracts. Contracts means they are exerting a force and they will be become a strong, tough. Okay, and during the same times our triceps muscles, I mean the lower side muscles of these bones. Okay, so in the lower part, so triceps muscle will get the stretch means they get the relaxed forms. Okay, they will not be exert any force during the bending of the arm. But when we straightens our arms, in this case you will be see when we are straightening our arms. So suppose our arms was the band and now we want to straighten arms, then we will be exert a force in this backward directions. So when we will be exert the force in backward directions, there our triceps muscles will be exert a force, and that's why they will be contract, they will become the strong, they will become the very tough. Okay, they will increase the size, and during the same times the biceps muscles will get the relax, they will be stretched out.
So during a motions, you have to remember that if we are bending, so our biceps muscle contract and triceps muscles are stretched or relaxed. During the straightening of hands, biceps muscles stretch or relax, but triceps muscles contracts. So during the motions, some muscles get the contract and some muscles get the stretch. That are the basic reasons to the movement of our bones. Okay, because in the bones movement that is generally done by the some muscles. So I think you got the meaning of it. Now we will be discuss movement in the animals in the next class. So thank you, students.